Um, Good afternoon, Shanta. How are
Good
you, dear?
afternoon. Yes, I'm doing good. What about you?
You can say good because this is my second session in series today. I
Oh,
could spare this much of time. Otherwise, in 3 or 4 days, I used to have just one session only. And but whenever I'm having chance, I try to grab the maximum out of it, out of
mm,
that.
correct. Yeah.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. So this is this our session is your first session because I have seen you remain so busy, and just before the beginning of this session, I was going through one of your shots that was
Correct.
regarding the app, and you started with like you are getting so many, these kinds of requests people are putting in to have these kinds of conversation with you, and I understand it very well that it's difficult for a person, a lady, and a person who is a homemaker, and at the same time doing so much of other stuff, and behaving professionally as well. So it's not an easy kind of thing. So is it our session is going to be the first
No, no,
uh, step?
no. Today is the second session, and I have another one in the afternoon. That would be around 2:30 or 3 o'clock because today is Saturday and I'm expecting my children early from school.
Hmm.
So, yeah, before 1 they would be home. So, I will I'll feed them with lunch and I'll take care of their necessities. Then I'll have another one session. So, that's it for today. Because weekends, I don't pressurize myself too much because family is at home and even I need a break and time with them. So whenever they are around, not only weekends, I don't do sessions after 4. If only people who need classes, I take 1 or 2 classes in the evening. But sessions for YouTube, I usually take one session during the day.
Hmm. Okay, nice. As I have already told you that I had a session before our meeting, and that session you might be familiar with that child, the girl who speaks in a British accent.
Yes, yes.
And
Yeah.
mine question is related to it's in continuation to that you can say conversation. You
Mm.
are doing well. You speak like you are an I must say an upper level speaker. I always count you in that very category. And you speak very well. You don't make any grammatical or other errors. Your vocabulary is fantabulous. But now my question is not related to this thing, the way we are talking to each other. It is because she advocates British accent. When I asked her that at such a tender age, how did this idea came to your mind that you should start conversing in English? When she told me that her parents, they hail from a Hindi background kind of thing. They don't know English very well. But two things. One is working on start just having the idea that I must work on my language or communication skill at such a tender age. Another thing that just focusing on the British accent. Shanta, frankly speaking, when I started my journey, I started from zero. I have shared it with you. I started from scratch. I told you that I grew up as a child with low self-esteem. I was from a Punjabi medium because regional language, regional language Punjabi, and my mom was a government school teacher. And I encountered with this language when I was in already in the sixth standard. And my English started like capital letters of ABC and small letters of ABC in that. Uh, and so my education had been in this way only. Like I completed my education with the same kind of feeling, with like being scared of this language and having that complex inside my mind. Why I am giving you the history, that the people who are like me, they whenever they come on this platform, not YouTube, I'm talking about on this platform, like trying to come up and trying to converse with the people so that they could hone their communication skills. We always try to be in our in our an inner self, like own self, I must say, like our own accent. You can call
Mm.
it as Indian
National.
accent with the bitter tinge of our mother tongue also.
Correct.
You understand?
Yes,
But
yes.
she says that her whole emphasis is on British accent. My question to you is, first thing, is accent very important? What is your take on it?
No, I don't think accent is important. No, because it has to be neutral. So that if you are talking in British accent, living in India, it would be hard for people to understand you completely. And I think it is not necessary. If you are living in India, you should talk in an Indian accent or just be neutral. Don't try to follow one particular accent. That is what I would say.
Yeah, I second your opinion because I too feel when we are to converse with the people who are all the time around us, so
Hmm.
I should be capable enough to convey my message to that
Correct.
person properly. That is the important thing. Even when we talk about some tips and tricks, we used to lay emphasis on this thing that the okay, you are not familiar, you are not that much aware with the grammar. Leave it. You start speaking. You start with speaking if you want to converse with the person on the other side in English, and slowly with experience and by learning from the other person's style and the words and grammatical part, you can easily imbibe those things with the passage of time.
Correct.
Important thing initially is that your message should be properly conveyed. So that way I too feel that accent is not important, it shouldn't be important. For the same reason, another, if we are to live within the vicinity of the people who are like us, so that
Yes.
way I too feel that if your emphasis will be more on some particular kind of accent, you would come across two kind of difficulties. One is your message will not be properly conveyed. Another
Correct.
thing, the persons would hesitate to talk to you. And
Right.
frankly speaking, I always try to be very true that when that girl, she requested me to have a conversation, and after that, I didn't know initially. I then went through one or two of her video just to know that very tender age, 8 years, and in third standard, and she want to talk to me. And when I got to know that she speaks in British accent only. Shanta, frankly speaking, see my age and that child is, but I became hesitant because I too feel that, frankly, I find if we are to choose between American accent and British, American accent is more open because the
Correct.
people from all over the globe, they America, it doesn't has its own accent, you can say. It is all the mix amalgamation of the people like us, the way we speak. And
Yes.
I'm scared of British accent, so that way I started like I got you can say a content with me that okay, when I'm going to have my conversation with Shanta, she's already doing wonders in this language. I would definitely like to share my thought process with you and like to know what is your take on it. And yes, now I'm relieved that I shouldn't be burdened, feel burdened that I have to now learn British accent as well. It because she says it's very important. And yeah, I don't think, I too feel that accent is not at all important, and you shouldn't lay emphasis on any of the accents.
Correct. That is the thing I tell everybody.
Hmm.
Accent has to be the last thing on your mind. First, you become fluent, focus on your grammar. First, focus on speaking correctly. Indian accent is the most easily understandable accent wherever you go. In the olden days, it would be different because people wanted that Indians should follow a particular accent to be understood. But now the world is coming towards Indian accent. They are able to understand wherever we go. So it is proper to convey a message correctly. So I
Hmm.
don't think you should have an accent unless that you are going to go to Britain and settle there. You're going to UK and you have a future there. You're going then it may be necessary for you to be able to understand their accent. Even then I wouldn't say that you have to learn to speak like them, but you should be able to understand what they are saying. If that is in your mind, then it is okay. You can advocate that this is why I'm doing this. But you are living in India and you're saying that it is important for you to speak in British accent in spite of being here. I don't think that's important.
Hmm. Exactly. Okay. And okay, I'm a student, you are my mentor at this very moment. Whatever the content I have just talked about, in whatever way, just comment on it. Like I want to have a feedback. Two things.
Like
Two
your
things.
opinion.
I know I am unstoppable. This is something which is beyond my control. But be genuine to me.
Yeah, yeah. You're talking about your opinion, your thought process. You want a feedback on that?
No. My
No.
language. My language.
Oh, you're
English.
like,
I'm talking.
oh, it's excellent. I dare not tell anything about it because there's no flaws in it. Like if you're asking me for feedback or to tell you about your language, I don't think that I can make any corrections there. It's
I have
flawless.
I have one problem. Whenever I start talking to somebody and I start resonating myself with the person, used to forget about, laying any emphasis on my words or my language, my pronunciation, my grammar. I get engrossed into the content. And I had just a glimpse of one video. I don't remember the name of that person. And the caption of the video was that what is the fun of having these kinds of conversations if you don't lay emphasis on? And it was some question mark there. So I took it as if somebody is talking about me. Like once I start conversing with somebody, uh, as I told you earlier, sometimes I become unstoppable. Unstoppable in the sense like, so I mean, that way I wanted to have a sincere, your opinion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Another question, Shanta, sorry, in the row. Second comes vocabulary.
Hmm.
Uh, in vocabulary, two things. Advanced vocabulary, we talk about, another, the uses of idioms and phrases. What is your take on it?
See, I'll tell what position I am on in right now. I don't use advanced vocabulary or idioms because I don't know. I prefer talking basic English than practicing idioms because what I feel is majority of Indians, they are either beginners or intermediate speakers. There might be people who want to become advanced, but then they will have their own resources in order to become advanced, and they will be able to afford to learn idioms and afford a tutor and talk to them like that. But I want to reach out to even common people. Even if they're able to understand basic English, even basic English sounds good, right? Suppose a person is using very advanced vocabulary, you would lose interest in the conversation when you don't understand what that words mean. You can't, sometimes if your subtitles are not on, you won't even know what the pronunciation of that word is or what that word is. That will make you stop and go to Google and search what is the meaning.
Hmm.
So that way, why will be people glued to your conversation or watch your conversation when you're using such high vocabulary? So that is what I feel. And you can also say I'm not putting so much effort also in order to bring idioms. I would choose very basic idioms like everybody can understand, like a piece of cake or something like that. Many of us can relate to that and talk about that. But that's it. I do not practice advanced vocabulary. It's good for people who are teachers. If they want to teach somebody advanced vocabulary, first they need to be equipped with it. So then in that case it becomes necessary. But right now I'm teaching only beginners or intermediate who need fluent English speaking practice. That is all their necessity is. So right now I am limiting myself to the way I am speaking. I don't know what will happen in the future, but this is right now, it is my opinion. It might change, but for now, I think this is enough. Basic and little bit of here and there advanced if people are looking for it. Maybe make a short video for their education. But when it comes to my own practice, maybe I wouldn't use them.
And I feel when you talk in a very simple, common words, it sounds more natural.
Correct.
And people would love to have conversations with you and they won't hesitate. They won't feel hesitation of any sort.
Yes.
Yes. I also go along with your opinion.
But you
Okay.
have a lot of advanced vocabulary in your speech, right? You use good words. Maybe I don't use them in my language. I feel that you use better words.
Sorry, I couldn't make it out. What did you say in just a couple of seconds ago?
Okay, I feel you use better words, better advanced vocabulary because those words are not a part of my speech. I feel that
Hmm.
you use advanced vocabulary and good words.
Hmm. Right. Nice. Any like you started your journey in some different way. Like I know I'm quite familiar with it that you were professionally you are an engineer. Definitely you came from a background of like you were a non-medical student. I don't know whether your primary education was from English medium or not, but I think if you started the day you started that you want to choose this platform as an English trainer, so that way you might have started focusing, laying more emphasis or focusing more on your language. So that way, switching over from one sphere to another, what exceptionally exceptional thing, or in what way you went through, you can say, extra miles on this journey? Did you do some extra efforts, or what did you do so that our learners or the viewers, they could get that kind of, insight related to this thing, like if they are on the similar kind of journey, like I'm also from medical background.
Hmm. I've been learning English since my childhood. I went to an English medium school. So
Yeah.
since then, I have been speaking in English. And honestly speaking, I didn't want to join as a trainer. So I
Okay.
just took this YouTube platform to connect with people and have conversations. That's it. So when I started posting conversations, yes, I mentioned that I work for Inktoki as a trainer. So that
I
was the
know.
only thing. Then later I that was my introduction. I work as a trainer for this platform. And I took this YouTube specially just to have conversations. But when, as and how I kept uploading conversations, people started addressing me as a teacher of English. You know, English teacher, English teacher. So that is how I became a teacher of English. But I am not. I just, I'm basically here to interact with people and learn because English is something that comes naturally to me,
Hmm.
like my own mother tongue. It is the first language that will come to me. So maybe my English is good. That is why people are associating me to be a teacher. But if you want to have a practice with me, it's okay. But if you ask me, like, teach me grammar or tell me why this is used instead of this, I won't be able to give you a clarity because that is not how I learned. I didn't do
Hmm.
my B.Ed or any teaching certifications. Those people would be knowing better about it. I learned all this only through practice and listening. So, yeah, that is my journey why I'm on YouTube, basically to interact with people. So, I didn't do anything. I didn't go an extra mile in doing anything for my English. I was an engineer and nothing related to English, and I have a 10 years of career gap where I did nothing but just homemaking. So, yeah, just the shift because my English was good. I applied for freelancing positions. So, I think you know about that story.
So English is just a language for you, and you use this language for communication. You
Yes.
are concerned with communication part only, but you
Yes.
speak so well. You speak
Mm.
so well, Shantam.
Thank you.
Sometimes I rewind the video, and I listen some of the words. In what way? In what simple, very simple thing, like just I would focus on that phrase, that how, if I was to make this sentence, and in what way I would be. Twice or thrice it has happened in your case also. That's why that was the reason, because after going through your videos, then I thought of connecting with you. So
Mm.
I'm that way fortunate enough that on YouTube I could friend, I could connect with some of people like you, with whom I resonate myself, and I feel I could make, like of the that kind of opinion, good connections with them. Like
Correct.
if now I requested you to have this kind of conversation, and immediately you settle down everything, and now we are meeting over here. So that
Yeah.
way, Shant, I'm so much grateful for you, because it's not easy for you. I understand it very well. And because of the vibes I get from you, I always feel good, though it is, we are meeting for the only for the second time today.
Yes.
But I would love to have more conversations with you in a more insightful manner, in a more
Yes.
meaningful manner. So till then, thank you, dear, and
Hmm.
all the best for your journey, and have a fantabulous day ahead. Thank
Yes, ma'am.
you.
Yeah, just one question. I want to know from you, do I have a heavy South Indian accent?
No,
Will
not at
people
all.
be able to
No,
categorize that I am? Okay.
you don't have the accent. Even when I go through my short videos, because
Hmm.
earlier I was not aware of it. And
Hmm.
whenever I converse a bit consciously, then I try to be very neutral. But when I was having my these lessons, so you can say, or the sessions from the professionals, many of them, they used to end up saying everything is going perfectly fine, but you have your mother tongue influence when you converse. And
Yes.
when I acknowledge that I was not familiar with it. And when I go through my videos, when I where I converse sometimes in Punjabi as well and English, I realize that in my conversation there is some Punjabi accent, but in your conversation there is no accent. I got to know that you hail from that place only after watching your video only. I don't find any accent in your way of speaking.
Okay, okay, yeah, thank you. Because I need somebody who's superior to me to tell me, right? Who are have a good understanding of English and the language and how to speak it. So that's the reason I'm asking you. I didn't ask it anybody else, but I thought I'll consult you once.
No,
What
no,
your
not at not at all.
Mm.
If I haven't seen you in that video and not gone through that part where you mentioned you hail from this background, and that the person on the other side was saying, "Okay, you are just this much distance from my place." That was the some video, like you
Okay.
two neighbors, kind of. You were talking to each other. Only then I got to know that you hail from south. Otherwise, it's not reflected from your conversation. You are
Okay.
perfectly fine. Amazing.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you. I hope you enjoy your weekend. So thank you so much for connecting. You have a good
You
day.
You too. Have a quality time with your family and friends.
Yeah, I
Thank you.
will. Thank you. Bye.